My friends, we are live. We are live today on several platforms, so I won't go into it. Anybody's watching us here, it's going on live. And for those fortunate enough to be part of this, is the Creating Ambassadors podcast. Welcome tonight to the another episode of Creating Ambassadors. And I'll tell a little bit about my colleague and friend here and our special guest tonight, Camilo Rodriguez. Before he starts saying anything, I want to tell how grateful I am to have met this guy several years ago. I believe it was on the site, Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons in 152nd.
We'll talk about
Surrey, BC.
Exactly. We'll talk about that later. But I'm so pumped because what Creating Ambassador is about is connecting with people and finding the right people to help each other in our industry or as an entrepreneur, because we are solopreneurs. And Creating Ambassadors is basically created to help reach out to, I believe, great people like yourself, Camilo, that can help others, perhaps inspire them, and perhaps maybe say, hey, call me up if you have some questions. Maybe I can help you in your business. And why do we do this? Why I do this is I'm sure you share the same thing, is that mutual cooperation. And today, I'm proud to have you, and we'll talk about how it has helped you a lot. And today's topic is how mutual cooperation, how collaboration has created future successes for you. I'm certain years ago when you first started in this business, you never had this intention in mind, because the way that you've done business, the way that you help yourself out, it just attracts success down the road, right?
100%.
All right. So you've been in business for how many years as a mortgage broker? In the mortgage broking industry, you've probably been about 15, 16 years?
16 years.
16 years. So you know a little bit about mortgage.
I'm learning every day. One more idea, one more lender, one more application. And you and I know how exciting this is, that no two applications are the same.
So that's right. That's right. It's we don't want to cover too much in lingo speak here, but I'm learning everything new every day too. I create this so that I can bring other people to learn from their industry, to learn from their success, to learn from how they got to where they are today. And for you to achieve this kind of success too was not overnight, right?
It's never overnight, and it also depends on the definition of success.
And what's your definition?
My definition is very simple. For me, success is I've never seen myself as a sprinter. I've seen myself as a long distance runner. So for me, it's to be able to keep my energy, my momentum over the long term. And that has a lot to do with the dynamics of my family. So I've seen a lot of people become successful at the expense of other areas of their life. And I never wanted to do that. I want to have my own definition of success, which incorporates the relationships with my family, my relationship with God, my well-being physically, like eating well and having enough time to exercise, and also the ability to have enough time and resources or money to be able to help others. So as long as I can increase all those 5 areas of my life moving forward, I feel successful. But I do not measure myself only on one of those areas. And in my opinion, that's a key problem. Mm-hmm. For example, in mortgages, if you only measure yourself on the volume that you funded or the income that you earned, you may be doing at the expense of other areas of your life. So it's a work in progress, but I created my own definition. And so far, it doesn't work all the time. Like, you cannot have balance all the time, but it helps you bring you back to the center to that. So that's my definition.
It is more of awareness that you need to shift back sometimes to family, sometimes to spiritual, not all business, right? Yeah, I do agree with that too. You ever done the Wheel of Life? That little exercise, the Wheel of Life?
I've seen it. And when I saw it, it was probably about a year ago. I loved it because it incorporated 5 of my areas, but I think that Wheel of Life has more areas.
Yes.
And my challenge when I started looking at that, I go, wow, if I try to incorporate all those, it's going to be too much for me. So I step back to my core 5. But I think that wheel, I love it because it is the same philosophy, the
That's
same.
right. That's right. Yeah. I remember the first time I ever created that wheel of life, I looked at it and said, yeah, this wheel ain't going anywhere.
Probably, or you'll go in circles. You'll go in circles.
Yes. Some were higher, some were lower, and like spirituality, but with this much spirituality, and the rest is like business and family. It's like the back long time ago, the Stone Age wheels.
100%. But I found one thing: when you focus on something, the energy or whatever you're doing tends to go towards that. So if you focus on, when I get up every morning, I look at my 5 areas of life all the time, and I go, holy crap, I'm weaker on this one for the last month or whatever. So I try to do something to strengthen this, and it may be at the expense of another one.
Yeah.
But over the long term, you're always moving with all the areas towards an objective.
And you know what, I have a hard time with work-life balance, as you know. I'm always fighting it too.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
And some of the great people say, work-life balance BS. In a way, it is, because you're never going to be balanced every day. It's going to be out of balance. You always, like you have to shift back and forth between the 2 or between the 5, right?
But I'll give you a real example. In business, for example, in the mortgage business, there's a lot of conflicts between family and business, because you need to be available on the business side when the clients are ready. Okay, so if you're not careful, then all the clients will take over all your time. Okay, and that will create the lack of balance in other areas of your life. Okay, but at the same time, when I was aware of that, I realized that yes, I have to be available, but maybe I'll be available that way only 60% of my time, and the other 40% of the time, no matter what happens, I will not be available. And then, because I didn't want to lose those opportunities, I created systems around it that has helped me. Even when I'm not available, people respect that I'm not available, because I can easily tell a client, like today I had a client come, Camilo, do you work on Saturdays? And I said, very rarely, because I'm on my soccer activity with my family. So I said, well, but I can only meet on Saturdays because my work, whatever. Okay, that's fine. So why don't we do the following? I'm going to have so-and-so reach out to you and meet with you at that time. And then he goes, well, no, but I want to meet with you. I don't want to meet with somebody else. I said, okay, so why don't we do the following? Saturdays for me is very difficult, but maybe on a Tuesday evening or on a Wednesday evening, I'll be myself available until 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening. Would that work for you? Oh, great, because I leave work at... So you compromise, but some part of my area, I don't, because I know I have promised Anna or my kids that I'm going to be there, and I need to be there, even though there might be lost revenue.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
And that really makes me think about how you not just look around your the other 4 areas of the 5 that you mentioned, that, but when you meet clients, you want to cooperate with them, you want to have a mutual cooperation, and you want to work with them, but not necessarily at any expense. And I believe they see that the core values comes out, right? They believe that, hey, this is the kind of guy that I like to work with, rather than, oh yeah, I'll kiss you, and do whatever you want, I'll grovel, they don't want those kind of people. And that's the reason why there's I want you, I don't want somebody else. And same in my clients.
Now that we're talking about the subject of mutual cooperation, a lot of people who are in business, they see perhaps other professionals as competition, or sometimes even the same client itself. They look themselves like, I need to sell him, or I need to win him over, or I need to. So they are in competing sides. And don't ask me where I read this, or because I like to read books, or who gave me this idea. And I never see myself that way. I always see myself like that person is coming for me for a reason. So they have something that they have solved, or a problem, or a financing, or something that they want to resolve. And I look at that. That is the problem. So you and I, we're working together to solve that. It's not me trying to to do something that you don't want to do or whatever. Is the both of us trying to do that. And I have my priorities in my life, and you have your priorities in your life, but we want to solve this. So when those balances or unbalances occur, they know that it's not us fighting together. It's just that at that time I'm not going to be available, but I'm going to be responsible enough to make sure that that happens on time, and that if I'm not available at that time, my first opportunity is going to get resolved, and you can count on me that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways,
they can see the priority that you put in there.
And one last thing, if I don't do that, I know if I do only business at the expense of everything else, I will not be able to satisfy my core value, which is to work in the industry over the long term, because I either will be very tired, or I will burn myself, or maybe perhaps I don't take care of my health, so my health suffers, and then I have to go to the hospital, and then I cannot continue on my long-term journey. I need to pace myself. I need to work hard. Is like training. Like I think you have to train. You cannot overtrain. You have to eat well, right? You have to.
Of course.
Are the best train, right? There you go. Are the best bodybuilders the one who never sleep and only lift weights 24/7? No. They need to rest. They need to eat well. They need to eat the right of food. They need to have the rest. They possibly their body will respond if they have good relationships around it versus not the good relationships. So, anyways, it's all out.
And I think people are attracted to that. When somebody's working towards a balanced life, someone's have a good core value, and I'm sure those are kind of clients that you want anyway, right? You don't want the other kind of clients who are bona fide, I call them, right?
Yeah, and I love that, because if a client is not respectful, and like I'm super respectful to the client, but I expect the same type of respect. So if they're not respectful enough, that I may have some life or family commitments, then I know that we are not the right fit, because there's some people, and there's nothing wrong with them. They just want, okay, you have to be 24/7 for me whenever I call, whatever I do. And I said, I appreciate that. I would love to help you on that problem, but I'm not the right person. So I recommend that you talk to somebody that is 24/7 and that is willing to do what you're doing. But I'll tell you upfront, I won't be able to get not even close to that. And then sometimes they're shocked. And I go,
push them away. They want you more.
Well, I don't do it with that intention. I just tell them that I'm sorry, but if there is going to be conflict, we'll work together. But I won't do it at the expense of some of the core values that I may have. So
that's right. I think that's, in this day and age, I would say it's a rare commodity. It's a very rare commodity, right?
It's a very rare commodity. And it also depends on, it all comes around because there has been some times that, and I remember this like it was yesterday, that I knew that in order for me to survive or to keep in my journey, I had to be unbalanced. So I talked to, for example, my kids, and I talked to my wife, and I said, hey guys, I need to be unbalanced, but this is not for the long term. It's going to be let's give it a try for 4 months. And I, in that particular situation, I asked him for permission to go and work Saturdays and Sunday evenings, afternoons and evenings. And I told him the reason why I needed to do that and for how long. And if it worked, this was going to be the outcome. And if it didn't work, then it didn't work and I had to do something else.
And became a new dad.
So they all supported me and say, okay, just go for it. And then the relationship was kept intact. And in fact, I felt loved by them because they allowed me to do whatever I needed to do, but not at the expense of me not dealing with them. So
and that's part of the topic, having mutual cooperation, because at the end of the day is, there's a saying, you can't have the cake and eat it too. I don't know what the heck that exactly means, but in this part where, hey, you want the cake, we're gonna have to make the cake, right? To get there, it's gonna require sacrifices. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be dirty. It's gonna have some costs involved. All right,
100%.
Right, and I you mentioned earlier regarding you don't see competitors as competition, and that's what I love. And that's what attracted me working with you eventually, is that who's this guy from a different company coming here and talk to me? It's like we should be like on the other side of the fence. We should be competitors, and yet you reach out to me, and that's probably drove me to the same kind of thing over the years too, to develop this. And I see everybody as an extension of me, and then just like you see everybody as an extension of, hey, everybody speaks goodwill of Camilo, and that's not the upfront intention you had in mind, but you knew that if you help somebody else, they're gonna say good things about you. If you treat everybody else as competition, as I'm gonna take the business. Oh yeah, I'm better than him. Don't talk to him. Come to me, and I give you better raise. I don't like that either in this industry.
I love that. Today, I'm happy we're having this conversation. Today, about 3 hours ago, I had a conversation with a client that called me, who was referred by a real estate agent, and her situation is unique. She's self-employed, so we went over the option that I think I could get her.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I sent her the email list with the application and all the documents. She called me 2 days later, which is today, and she goes, Camilo, I love your options, but I went ahead and I talked to other mortgage brokers. 2 other mortgage brokers. And so, okay,
Two.
great. Yeah,
not just one.
And she goes, and I said, great. And she goes, and one of them told me that they could go to a credit union and get this. And I go, interesting. I go, I love it.
Yeah.
Like I like it. So I said, okay, the option that I provided to you didn't include that option. So she goes, what should I do? And I said, okay, what you should do is the following. I haven't seen your documents. You haven't made an offer yet. I think you should compare. So if it's okay with you, send me the documents. I'll review it. Talk to that broker, because that option is also very good and maybe better than my own options. And we'll compare. If that option is better, then go with that broker.
Yeah.
If any of my options are better, then you go with me. What about the credit? So we addressed that issue, that her credit was not going to be damaged.
Yeah.
And the only thing I told her is we need to be in cooperation. So you need to ask that broker, because I'm not going to be dealing with that credit union, or I'm not going to step in his toes. So just let me know which lender he's going to be submitting, so we don't submit 2 brokers submit to the same lender.
Yeah.
Right. But I know that the lender at this stage is just a pre-approval, so there's not going to be a submission, but at least you'll have all it. And she loved it, and she welcomed it. That's great. And here we go. I'm waiting for the documents. I think she uploaded the documents to our portal.
That's
just
good.
a few minutes ago. So
That's
anyways,
good.
That's it's.
So instead of shutting somebody else down, instead of putting them down, you left it open.
And if I would love if that funds, I know that this is a really good option for the client.
Yeah.
So it's a huge opportunity for me to learn.
That's right.
Because now I could have 10 more applications
That's
with that lender, with that strategy that I didn't know after 16 years of being in the business.
Yeah.
So it's lovely.
I love that. I love that, because there is a saying, there's no such thing as failure. You either learn something,
yes,
or you made some money.
Yes.
You either learn something or you made some money. One of those two.
I know that maybe this podcast is not focused on mortgage business, but many years ago, when I did a little bit of research and I found about the market that we are in, and anybody listen to this, they should do the same. Research the market.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I research the market, and I'm talking only Vancouver area, not even Canada, Vancouver area, there is 250,000 transactions per year. Even if the economy is bad, okay, they're going to drop to 200,000.
Yeah.
Which is, and then the newspaper will say drop of 20%. It's 200,000. Okay. I have 8 hours every day. How many transactions can I process?
Not that much.
Not that many.
Close. Not even a percentage.
So not even half of 1%.
Yeah.
So it's not about competition.
No.
It's about collaboration.
Yeah.
It's about learning how to. I'd rather sometimes lose that deal, that file, because that broker was competent or something, and learn from that, because then I can do. It happened to me. Another client. He wanted to deal with me, but he found a better solution at his own bank. And I go, I cannot believe that your own bank is doing that. Yes, Camilo, you've seen that, right?
Yes.
I said,
yes.
And,
sometimes.
and then he goes, what should I do? I said, what do you mean? well, I want to deal with you, but no, there's no bad. Go with your lender. This is an awesome solution. I'm happy for you. If you want me, let me review the documents, but I would go with, if I were you, I would go with that bank.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing that. And then I learned what that bank is doing. And I did 5 more files with that bank in the next 3 months that I would never done. That I would never done if I want to compete versus
collaborate.
Yes.
Yeah. So whether it's with your so-called competitors or whether you're the clients, competing in the business, I truly agree that collaboration has helped me achieve a lot of level of success that I have today too. And
how much
for you?
How much have I learned from you, amigo?
As much, I'm sure it goes both ways. Right? But I come to respect that as like, how the heck would somebody, and I like to toot Camilo's horn because really he's too humble and he doesn't do this enough. I said, of all the different franchises, of all the big name franchises across Canada, we're talking about quite a few, right? And I'm very grateful to be part of Camilo's team here and his business. Like, how often does an entire mortgage broker any association choose an independent person to be the top person and represent the whole entire industry? Like in our industry, it's like, this is, for me, I think it's unheard of. It's usually somebody is in one of the major franchises. They get a lot of notice, they get a lot of support from their own teams and own other offices, right? But having an independent person getting voted to represent all our peers, that's amazing. I mean, that's a huge accolade, I think. But I want to know how you did it. But my guess is that a lot of it has to do with mutual cooperation over the years, because who would know this independent person? Like, we're not part of a franchise, so they wouldn't know you unless you must have done something, right?
You know what? In my humble opinion, a lot has to do with the intention. I never intended to be the president of the CMBIBC. I never intended. What I was always looking for is, how can I help the association? How can I help the president or the vice president or the CEO? How can I help them? And sometimes I could help them, sometimes I couldn't, but I always wanted to help them.
How can I help?
And then when I saw that this could be a possibility, to be honest with you, I got super scared, because I go, oh, now I'm gonna be responsible for this, and I know that I have, time commitments, family commitments. I want to keep my balance going, and now I have another one. So the first thing I was totally upfront with them and say, hey guys, if this is a possibility that you guys may nominate me and vote for me, I want to tell you upfront what my fear is and what my shortcomings may be at this position, and that's going to be my time commitments. And but to bring it up front, I felt the support from them, and then the rest is history.
Very nice.
It's been super.
But I think what I want to know is like,
What secret do you want to know?
It's not the secret, but it's like, if you go back in time for about, say, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, you must have planted some seed along the way, because you just spoken to literally thousands of people in our industry. They must have, I know Camilo, right? Otherwise, who's this guy that's been nominated, right? In our industry, is like you have to be somewhat well known to be taken seriously, to be nominated to that level, to be able to that position. Would you agree?
I don't know what it is. I'll be honest.
Too humble.
No, because if I knew, I would share it. I don't know what it is. I've over the years, I am fairly busy with my own clients, so I would love to reach out to more people in the industry, but sometimes I don't have the hours in the day.
That's right.
But sometimes I just make time and connect with people, and then I learn from others. I've learned so many things from different people, and I'm so happy that they share with them. So I want to share what I know, because I know it helped them and they help me. But at the end of the day, it's all about, in my opinion, I think one thing that I'm always mindful is that we are too quick to judge people. So if I meet somebody, I'm too quick to try to put that person in a
In a box.
category,
Yeah.
right? And then I try to restrain myself to that. And sometimes there's things that I don't like about a person.
Mm-hmm.
And when I know that there's something that I don't like a person, there's two ways. One, you react in a negative way and you pull away.
Mm-hmm.
But what I force myself is to go deeper to understand why that person does that I am in disagreement.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm shocked to learn that they may be right.
And it's us.
And it's me who has preconceptions.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a matter of lack of communication. So by the fact that we spend more time together, now I come to understand where you're coming from, and I can see your perspective, and then we can collaborate more because I see other people may disagree with him, but now I see where he's coming from. Not that I changed my point of view, but I understand his point of view, and that leads to more solutions to problems. I don't know. That might be why.
I like it. Honestly, that is one of the biggest things that I've attracted to me coming to work with you, Camilo, in the beginning, is you try to understand people like, why do you think that way? Why do you go to that route? Okay. Instead of having any preconception, or even if you have, you left that aside and you kept an open book and to say, okay, how is it going to work? All right. I like that.
And it's not that I can take my preconceptions away. I don't know if somebody can. If somebody can and is listening, please reach out to us and let us know. But what I try to do is I feel the preconception, I feel the negativity, but I keep pushing along, even though I'm not comfortable with that preconception.
Interesting.
To the point that in the past there have been people that have, in my own view, hurt me because they've done something that I really feel hurt, or that I would never do to somebody, or that I go, this is totally against my values. Okay, and they've hurt me, and because of that, I had to do other things or react or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll be amazed that today, not only I don't have any negative preconceptions about that person or what that person did to me, but I'm serious. I'm thankful because by them doing that to me, I didn't understand. They pushed me into out of my comfort zone to do something else that has benefited me tremendously. And I go, thank you. Like, I cannot thank you enough. You don't know how much you have helped me by doing that to me.
Yeah.
And when I see that, every time I feel that, because in life you keep feeling that, I go, you know what? I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't know what, but you just have to keep trying to do the good thing, and then life will tell you afterwards what was the lesson that you had to learn.
That's good. I like that.
Anyways.
I like that. Yeah, I can share the same experience here. I've people coming out of my life that I don't like, but they have changed my life in a positive way.
Oh,
and that's why we can take it, right? Take it or leave it, but they've impacted us. We just have to see from the good side. It's like you have, and that's probably got you to that position, I believe, more than anything else.
And when I was thinking about the subject of mutual cooperation, two ideas always come to mind, and I want to share that with Joshua and with people listening here in the audience.
Yeah.
Two ideas always come to life. One of them is I love documentaries of Africa and the wild animals, and I love to see the different animals. Since I was very kid, I love those documentaries, and or the bears or the lions or the whatever it is. And I saw this documentary about the hunter in Africa that has the highest kill rate or success rate killing their prey. Okay. And then when I asked that and I think I've asked you that question.
Yeah. How do they do it?
What is it? And then what are the typical answers? Some people say the hyenas. Some others say, well, lions, Lion King or whatever. Or some others go whatever, right?
Yeah.
This leopard that is really fast, whatever.
Yeah. Cheetah.
The cheetah.
Yeah.
So according to that documentary, is the wild dog, the African wild dog. So if you go into YouTube and search for the African wild dog. It's a little dog. It's not too big. Like it seems like when you go to sometimes third world countries that you see little dogs left on the streets that are all skinny, big ears and all skinny.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. They look like that. So they're not a powerful animal.
No.
They are not super fast. They are not super strong. They are not super clever. But how come they have like something north of 90% kill rate?
Wow.
The reason why they do is because they work in groups, mutual cooperation. So the way they do it is two dogs start hunting a little zebra or whatever, and then the zebra is faster, stronger, so they outrun them. But then they keep running, and then two other dogs take over. And then the zebra goes, oh, these guys are persistent. No, this is the second set of dogs. And they have like a path, and then others come along. And then after 5 sets of two little dogs, the poor animal that gives exhausted, and then they all come and feast because they work together. So that's one of the ideas I always have in my mind when, and I have a big sometimes pull to work alone, but sometimes I have to force myself to remember that.
Yeah.
And the second idea on the subject of mutual cooperation is that is not something of a philosophy. Is not something of a spiritual just to work together to help each other. I think is grounded in our own biology, because human beings as a species is the only species on planet Earth, is the dominant species and whatever, because of only one reason.
That's right.
We are able to work
together
in large numbers.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn how human beings, and it's shocking why human beings were able to achieve as a species to work like that in large numbers, because I know you just came from Asia, right?
Yeah, large numbers.
Okay, and you went to countries that you don't even speak the language.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And would people cooperate with you?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Were you able to grab a taxi?
Oh.
Were you able to find a place to sleep?
Just like in here.
Order food.
Yeah.
Go in the internet. Whatever you need, people will cooperate with you. That's in my opinion, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And pick any country you can go, and people will cooperate with you.
Yeah.
Some others more than others, but everybody. So the reason why it's explained in one book, the book, I have to warn everybody, is about 500 pages.
Just 500 pages. Okay.
And when I was a kid, I hated history.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I love history.
What's it called?
It's called Sapiens.
Sapiens. Sapiens. That's us.
Sapiens. A brief history of humankind.
A brief history of humankind.
A brief history of humankind. And it explains exactly how we were able to achieve those large numbers, because in our biology as well, if you see any other animal, including ourselves, we are not able to remember, like if you're in a clan or like the clans in the past, you're not able to remember more than, I think, 80 names of 80 people, or know in a little bit of like know deeply more than 80 people. You get lost after a while because too many people.
Yeah.
But human beings are able to scale that to cities, to countries, and now in this century, the Earth has become a village. Like everybody,
we are a global village. Yes.
We're a global village now.
Yeah.
We are global,
pretty much.
and we have achieved that, and that's why we are dominant, because of mutual cooperation. So this subject is key into our business, any business. I don't know. Anyway, it's amazing.
I'm sold. Ever since I met you, I've been sold on that. And same with the commercial financing workshop that I created. And at the beginning, I was scared to give all the stuff away. And over the years, I've gotten a lot of referrals back from other mortgage broker, even my own students that have that can do the simple stuff. But when it complicates stuff, mutual cooperation, I help them get it done. Otherwise, by themselves alone, they would be overwhelmed. And
They'll be overwhelmed.
I believe that's just like the dog story. By the one dog, they'll be overwhelmed. They can't run forever, and the zebra will outdo them. Right? So that's terrific. See, that's awesome. we learned something today, and it has not to do with suits and ties. And it has to do with the Serengeti.
Has to do with with wild dogs,
Wild dogs.
with the species of human beings. Even I have to say, we go sometimes on holidays with Anna, with my wife,
Yeah.
and we are lost in a foreign country. And what do I try to do? Google Maps, search on the internet how to get there or whatever. And by the time I'm trying to search, Anna has already asked two people,
Ask
"Hey,
them,
where is the
help."
restaurant?" And then she gets the answer faster and better than. So I've learned to ask for directions. So I've been trained. I've been trained, right? So it's mutual cooperation. If I forget,
Hey,
I don't do what I preach.
hey, history of humankind has already has given the winning formula. Ask others.
Ask others, yeah. Ask others.
And I think that's it, and that's why I want to asking you. That's why I asked you to come to talk. So before we wrap this up, I always ask, if we knew what we know now, what would we have done? Would we have done something different? Would you have done something different 10, 15, 16 years ago? Had you changed something? Would you have done something earlier? What would you have done if you had given a chance? What you know today, what you would have done differently?
15 years ago?
Anytime back, 5, 10, 15, 16 years ago.
I would aim for higher and bigger things. So for example, in this moment of my life, I realized that I asked myself that question, and I am trying to force myself to aim for higher and bigger things. I'll give you an example. I love following up people that I admire. And for example, I admire Bill Gates. Okay, not because he built Microsoft, which by itself is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
More because of what he did in his second part of his life. So you don't see very many business owners after they've achieved all that success to reevaluate their own life and see where they can have a better impact. Most people will continue to do what they've been doing. Yeah. So if you founded this company and you've been the owner for 20 years, well, you're not going to leave the company. You're going to continue there and try to grow it bigger, and just because that's who you are. Yeah. So he stopped cold. I don't know if he stopped cold, but he stopped. Actively stopped, and he switched path to the totally opposite.
Humanitarian.
Yes. and solving problems even bigger than when we started at Microsoft. Yeah. And I go, wow, that's so I love to follow him. And right now, I don't know if you saw him, but he just released today. He sent me an email.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Well, he did. It's called a newsletter. Yeah. So he did send me an email. Yeah. And he announced that there's going to be Netflix, a little history about his life. Not only business, but personal. So it's going to be released in about 2 weeks. So I'm just marking my calendar. I'm going to watch it.
Love to hear it too.
Yeah. So, and at that level, so Bill Gates, mutual cooperation, he met Warren Buffett. What that did Warren Buffett do?
Money.
Collaborate with Bill. Not asking him money to invest, but giving him money so Bill Gates can do more humanitarian purposes. That's amazing. Yeah,
philanthropy is a big thing, and same with you and I with Kiva and all that, which is mutual collaboration. Really.
Mutual cooperation. Yeah. So 15 years ago, I should have aimed for bigger things, but now I have to aim for bigger things. And you know why I know that I'm not aiming for bigger things?
Why?
Because I'm not doing humanitarian purpose things at the level that he's doing it. So I think that has to do with my own mindset. I need to somehow change my mindset to get to that level. Because he's I know Bill Gates, or at that level, he's not thinking about himself at all. He's just thinking, how can I eradicate this disease from Earth? How can I solve energy problems?
You're in an enviable position now to rally the troops of 36,000 across Canada. So that's something to be said there. So one thing that I want to ask is, if you have anything to give, like a quote. We already got the book, Sapiens, guys. Get the book. I'm in book debt, so I'll add that to my list. But I always ask about the books and all that. If you have anything to point out to anybody, to our audience, where they should look to if they're interested in either pursuing anything as a volunteer position at an association, or perhaps mentorship with you, or learning how to be a broker.
If I want to share, well, what I would love to share right now is one of my favorite proverbs or sayings. It's an African proverb, and I just remember that proverb.
I'm a Colombian guy. Okay, this is
well,
good.
30% of people in Colombia, their ancestors are from Africa.
That's
because
right,
because the Spanish brought slaves to Colombia.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that African proverb, I love it, and it reads like this: if you wanna go fast, go alone. If you wanna go far, go together. I love that saying. If you wanna go fast, go alone.
That's
if
right.
you wanna go far,
go together.
Go together.
I like that.
Mutual cooperation.
I love it. Thank you very much, amigo.
Thank you very much.
Come to the show. I'm looking forward to watching you even go next to that next level that you're hitting the target of. Your goal is getting higher. So I'm looking forward to see that too. Wow.
We'll go together.
I like that. I'm in Colombia yet, and of all the crazy
we'll
stuff,
go together.
The crazy stuff see on Netflix. That's apparently has changed. I heard. So looking forward to visiting Colombia with you, and perhaps maybe do some great things together. And I know that my travels too. I love traveling with people. Traveling alone is great. You're right. You can go up the hills faster, but when you're up there, it's like, now what?
Now what?
Right. So it's nothing great from there. Perfect. Appreciate your time. So gonna sign off, and look forward to see you again in the future.
Very good, amigo.
All right. Thank you.